Garrett, did you want to take any questions?
Oh, if they had them, absolutely.
All right.
I just didn't.
Anybody have any questions for Garrett?
I love him.
If you don't have any questions, I can confirm you're in shock.
Podcast?
What?
Podcast?
No, there's so many podcasts out there.
Check.
What does this have to do with the Freemasons?
Freemasons? I can tell you that Joey's not part of one, but that's not because he's...
I know that. Neither is Trump.
There's nothing in the dossier about it. Nobody that's linked to Joey is a member of the group.
I don't think they'd have him.
What?
I don't think they'd let him join.
Well, I wouldn't let him, I wouldn't trust him with a $5 bill. One of the times I went to Delaware, so many people came up to me. We had this big talk at the DuPont Country Club, and there were a couple hundred people there, and the thing that came up most after the talk were contractors in the area, people who owned like landscaping companies. They would come up to me and say, Joey never paid them. Right? So the big thing with Trump is they said, well, he shorted me out on rebar, right? He wouldn't pay his contractors. You'll hear that on CNN and read it in the Washington Compost. But there's actually more primary source evidence for Joey doing that exact thing. In fact, one landscaping contractor in Wilmington got so fed up with Joey that he was going to use his landscaping trucks to rip up the rocks that he had installed on the side of his asphalt drive. This was in the late 90s. I'm hearing this directly from the contractor, Mike Christopher. And Joey came storming outside, this is before he's VP, and said, what the F are you doing? I'm going to stick the effing IRS on you. So this guy's been making threats about getting people audits and everything else. He literally thinks himself as a mobster. He doesn't do anything, by the way. For example, Mel Monzak, the guy I alluded to earlier, the attorney who deleted his law firm's website. And by the way, I didn't harass him. I didn't have people sending him emails. He literally, if you go to monlaw.com, it says, the site is currently under construction. Well, guess when it started being under construction? October 27th, 2022. It'll be released on October 19th. So Mel handles everything for Joey. Joey doesn't handle his own insurance. Like every insurance, and remember, we have all of the documents. Hunter's birth certificate, Hunter's global entry pass. It's all there. Like nothing actually says Joey's name. It's always in frontmen like Mel. And I don't know if Rudy would tell you the same thing, but that's how mobsters work. Like they don't register companies in their own name. It's all through, they create, just like with pure money laundering, you want to create as many layers as possible between the ultimate sender and the ultimate beneficiary. And that's what Hunter and his cronies did, is when you set up all these shell companies, it's like watching a bouncing ball, and only the best IRS agents can keep their eyes on the ball, and even when they do, the U.S. prosecutors won't cooperate. That's going to be a big story this week. We've really dug into, she's in our report for 3 pages, we called it, the lead deputy in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware, Leslie Wolf, her husband is a professor at Penn. At the same time, Joey taught there. It's a clear conflict of interest. She should have recused herself from the investigation. And now we have testimony, not just allegations, but sworn testimony under the penalty of perjury, violations of which, under 18 U.S.C. 1001, is 5 years in prison for mere mortals, not Andy McCabe and all these other princelings. Mere mortals violate that, they get 5 years in the pen. But nevertheless, they testified that Leslie Wolf wouldn't let them mention the big guy. She tipped off Hunter's defense counsel when they were going to perform a search warrant at a storage unit in Northern Virginia. Unprecedented. She violated so many DOJ policy manual lines, I don't even know where to start. We're going to be we have an attorney on the board, Jim Clark. We're going to be filing multiple bar complaints with the university. She's not barred in Delaware because she serves in the U.S. Attorney's Office. She doesn't have to be. But we're filing bar complaints with Pennsylvania. And we have no illusions that Pennsylvania is not corrupt, but at least we'll have it on the record. So when my sons and their sons, are grown, they'll know that, oh, Dad saw through this. This is a total sham. This investigation, he had it, every single angle was corrupt. Alexander Mackler, the ASUA at the time, he's buddies with Hunter. He's in the laptop. So the guy investigating Hunter, the guy in charge of charging Hunter was his buddy. This is conflict of interest 101. It's a joke. And I don't think the judge is going to reject the plea deal, which is going to be the subject of our forthcoming letter. But even if she doesn't, we will have at least put it on paper, right? We'll be able to say, yeah, we knew that that was a sham when it happened. Because I don't want to be, fat, dumb, and happy without a clue what's going on. This is a cover-up operation. And one more thing, Chris Clark, Hunter's attorney, under testimony, this was in the whistleblower documents. Chris Clark, Hunter's attorney, told the ASUAs on a call that, quote, charging Hunter would be career suicide for them, right? Which again goes to another thing about how feds, most of them, all they want to do is protect their pension. The people who founded the nation pledged their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor, right? And Andy McCabe won't even give up a pension. It's like, dude, give up a pension, do the right thing.
Okay. Thank you, Garret. We have time for one more question. If somebody has one more question, I think. Donna, you had your hand up. You took it down.
I did. I just wanted to know about prosecution. Where do you go? You did such tremendous research, and you have evidence to prove a case. How do you go about pursuing the prosecution?
Yeah, so the federal government's totally comped. The ASUA, even let's say we have a non-corrupt ASUA,